Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host Brian.
I'm done. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain.
There's been a lot going on, and there has been some complaining, but in the NFL,
Hmm.
mainly the NFLPA, the what is
Players Association.
the Players Association released an NFL report card ranking how teams did on various categories. Break that down for me.
Yeah. I think this is like an annual thing. I don't really look too much. I don't look into too much detail of these things, but I mean, this year we have the rankings. It breaks down a number of different factors, such as treatment of families, cafeteria food, nutrition levels, the locker room conditions, the training room conditions, the training staff, the weight room, the strength coaches, the team travel, the head coach, and the ownership are all graded on the A to F scale. And that's all well and good, but it's like, does this really mean anything for not winning?
Mm.
Because, like, for example, the Giants have the eighth best ranking overall, and they didn't even make the playoffs. People said that Brian Daboll should be fired. He had an A minus according to the head coaching thing, which the head coaching criteria gave him an A minus here. And I mean, yeah, I can't really speak on treatment of families. So yeah, it's a bunch of obscure. It's just information to get people talking, and we're talking about it. I don't really care too much about it, but I mean, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say like the biggest thing was the Chiefs were like among the worst ranked teams on here. What were the Chiefs rankings? They were
Overall,
they
they're
were giving them a 31st,
31st.
yeah,
Yeah.
31st overall. Ownership was ranked 32nd, absolute last in the league with an F minus. Team travel a D. What's another one? Training
Eight.
room a D.
Yeah, the only good quote unquote grade is a A plus head coach,
Yeah.
which I mean, I think that's what matters the most, honestly.
So, do you think the this NFLPA report card speaks more to how players feel about the organizations that they work in rather than the effectiveness of the organizations to win things?
Well, a great example would just be I think we talked about in the last part, McCall Hardman,
Yeah.
former Chief, went to the Jets. Didn't really like the way that the Jets were conducting themselves. For the sake of argument, the Jets were 21st on this list, so they weren't that great themselves.
Mhm.
But for some reason, McCall Harbin didn't gel with them, went to KC, and now he's a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. So I don't really care too much about about these rankings. Everybody has their list, like my QB list out now on the Doppler effect. Everybody has their list, but it's like I mean, you do what you want with them. It gets people talking, and here we are talking about it. Like I said.
Absolutely. Do you think the city that the team existed in has any bearing or effect on how these teams were graded?
Yeah, maybe the weather plays like yeah. I feel like the living conditions, like the warm weather cities and whatnot, might have a little more weight because but at the same time, the Chargers are 30th and the Rams are 20th. So, I mean, yeah, it's hard to tell. Miami's first and Minnesota is second, and it gets cold in Minnesota. So, yeah, I don't really know what exactly the scale is here. And I haven't had any of the stadium food, so I can't really highlight any particulars.
Hmm. I see what you're saying, but hear me out, right? Number one, you got Miami, right? Everybody knows Miami's fun. They got A's across the board. I'm assuming because they like to have fun in Miami. You go a little bit farther down, five, you got Jacksonville, another Florida team. Warm weather, the beach, good times, a couple alligators here or there. And you go down one more. You got the boys over in Levi Stadium. You got the San Francisco 49ers, Big Tech City and Warren.
But so the Dolphins had an A-minus training staff. Tyreek Hill was injured. Devon Chan was injured. Jalen Waddle was injured. Jalen Phillips was injured. Teron Armstead, I think, missed some time. I think Bradley Chubb also missed some time.
Yep.
Do you have an A-minus training staff? You have an A grade strength coach? Like what the yeah. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. And I'm not no, y'all got me. I don't care. This is just the list of information to get people talking. And here we are talking. Dennis Allen has a B minus and the Saints hate Dennis Allen. So like I don't really know what the I just don't know what the criteria is. It's just cool information, I guess.
So when you look at this, right, does it say how the data was come about? Like
Mm.
how we got to the ranking? What how did the scoring come about?
Excuse me. NFLPA's report card rankings. Players were polled on their satisfaction with their respective franchises in a variety of subjects, ranging from food to treatment and film. So it's bias. The players are ranking their franchises,
Oh,
and there's 53 to 75 players per team.
so
So if like the the third string punter doesn't really have a say so on the training staff, you're fine. You don't get in the game anyway. You don't get no bump.
that's
All you do is walk. If you get injured walking, that's on you.
a fair point. So this is essentially overall player satisfaction with the teams.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what does anything stick out to you on this list that's very telling?
Um, Surprised the Cowboys aren't in the top 10. Just knowing how, just yeah, the Cowboys are 12th. Jerry Jones has a 19, is the 19th on the ownership scale with a B grade. Um, I find that very interesting. The training staff has a D plus. I think that Trevon Diggs' injury may have played a role in that.
Mhm.
But like I don't really know. Matter of fact, and then the Browns, but then the Browns have a B minus when Nick Chubb got hurt. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. How how does a team with Miles Garrett have a D grade weight room? Have you seen Miles Garrett?
Strong guy, very
So
strong.
like I don't understand how and how do you have a B plus strength coach with a D grade weight room and a B minus training staff? It doesn't make sense. It's a bunch of subjective stuff,
Mm.
and I can't do anything with this information.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I guess when you look at things overall, do you see the AFC or the NFC trending towards the lower side here?
Let's see. The Dolphins are number one, the Vikings are number two. I feel like it's balanced. The Eagles are number four, then I don't know, it might be the NFC because you got San Fran and Philly in the top seven.
And
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just stuff, if you ask me. Where's Buffalo? Hold on.
uh,
That'll really give me an idea of they're 11th. Okay, I mean, yeah, A grade strength coach, A minus ownership, A plus head coach, B plus training room with all those injuries. I don't understand. That's like, how can a team get injured so much and still have a good grade? Treating their families. I mean, okay. Uh, yeah, it's like Arthur Smith C plus. Okay, 30th. What about who's another bad head coach? Who's a bad head coach? Oh, Ron Rivera. Okay, so let's go to Commanders.
Commanders are the lowest ranked team.
C grade head coach. Right, there's no failing coaches. Like, what is this?
Nobody wants to rank a coach very poorly. I mean, the Raiders ranked their coach a D.
Well, he got fired mid-season. I'm not putting that on Antonio Pierce. Josh McDaniels got that grade.
Yeah, it was Josh McDaniels' grade.
Yeah, so like this is a, the team that just went back to back in a rebuild or in a down year has an F minus ownership grade. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
I
So
I think the ownership grade is essentially like the willingness of the ownership to invest in the team's facilities and things of that nature. So I guess the lower the grade, the more of a penny pincher that owner is.
let's say that's true, right? We just
Yeah,
won back to back Super Bowls. So at least give me a C minus. I'm doing something right.
yeah, I agree.
Cause what did the is there a GM ranking? Ownership, head coach. Yeah, what they had the best coach and the worst ownership? Like what type of parallel is that?
Yeah, you see that with a lot of these combinations. The Chiefs, A plus coaching, F minus ownership. Steelers, A coach, uh, F ownership. I don't know about
Brandon
that.
Staley has a B grade. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
I don't think this is like the rating of like how good of a coach they are, but like the coach's willingness to like listen to the players and like their flexibility type thing.
You got blown up by 43 on Thursday Night Football by Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
Shout out to ALC. But mm, anyway, anyway,
ALC being Aiden O'Connell, right?
yes,
All
yes. I'm not concerned about politics.
right.
Only sports.
Okay. The combine started today. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. I believe it's gonna be this afternoon. I'm looking forward to seeing. Well, I was looking forward to seeing Caleb Williams and Drake May and other QBs, but they all said no. They're
Really?
not participating in drills. This NIL money got these athletes acting different, and I guess y'all are top 10 locks, but some people don't watch college football, but some people are hearing me. I mean, I know. I mean, there's YouTube and stuff, I guess, but. I think they're gonna focus on the pro days for the teams that are gonna be in striking distance to draft them. So I get it, and you don't want to get injured. I know, like David Ojabo did a couple years ago. So I understand it, but bro, like, why are all y'all just saying no? We want to see y'all throw, and you
Do you
feel me?
do you feel like the NIL has given a lot of these college players to opt out of a lot more things that they would traditionally do?
Yeah, because it's like, why do a throwing drill for free when I can do a commercial for a couple $1 million?
It's a fair point. Do you think NIL is going to be bad for the league ultimately in a few years?
I think I think is there's not a lot of I mean, to my understanding, because I need to do more research myself. But from the little knowledge I have, I don't think there's enough structure. I feel like if you're a dog, you're gonna get paid regardless. So if you want to get paid before you go to the leagues, I mean, I tip my cap, but that doesn't mean you can't still I guess it's acquiesce to the norm. But this is the new norm now, so it's like, I mean, hey, this is what it is.
Mhm. So, what do you think are like some of these QBs' reasons for like opting out of the draft? Not the draft, the combine. Like among these QBs, nobody really has like a Lamar Jackson type narrative where it's like, oh, they're trying to cast you in a different role or anything of that nature. They're actually genuinely just trying to evaluate your intangibles.
Yeah, I agree. I feel as though I'd rather get. Hmm, for some of these guys, like Caleb Williams, let's just stick with Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that he's going to be the number one overall pick in April.
Hmm.
So,
That's a lock.
no, do your own research. But whether that's Chicago, whether, whomever, but he's going first overall.
Hmm.
So it's like, what do I need to prove? I can throw a football very well. I've been doing it for 3 years. I did it in Oklahoma. I did it in USC. I won a Heisman. I don't have much college postseason success, but I can play very well. So I don't need to show y'all anything. I'm gonna do all my interviews and stuff, but drills, no. It's not like think about it this way. Like when you put my career, I used to love doing the drills in my career. But if I already know I'm gonna be a top five pick, I don't really need to do this. And that's why the QB class is like, no, we're not. We're probably going to see the likes of like Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler, maybe even JJ McCarthy, because I mean, not JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, because it's like their draft stock is on the lower side and they want to raise it up. When you're already tier one, it's like, all right, I'm not really trying to move. But the combines are really for the tier two, tier three guys and running backs.
But if you don't do the combine, can't you lose draft stock if everybody else does it? Say those tier two guys go to the combine, they go crazy on the intangibles, and it's like, oh, this is a more put together, complete football player, and we have NA data on everybody else. Because at the end of the day, it just comes down to you're giving them more data to evaluate you on.
Yes.
To me, if you're not doing it and there's not a real reason why you're not doing it, it kind of says that you're scared to be evaluated because maybe you don't believe that you're the guy that you're portraying you are. If you're that guy,
Well,
why don't you go
well,
show them you have those intangibles?
there's still pro days in March, and typically those are a little more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And teams that you think are gonna be in range to draft you, you'll work out for. So yeah, like I'm sure, like the Commanders and Bears pro days, Caleb Williams will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pardon me, it's the other way around. I'm sure like the USC Pro Day is on March 20th. I'm sure Caleb Williams will participate in that. The
Mm-hmm.
LSU Pro Day is on the 27th. I'm sure we'll see Jaden Daniels. Oregon's on March 12th. I mean, I'm sure Bo Nix is under the combine anyway, but he'll probably do both. So it's like, it's a matter of do I really have to do this? Is it gonna hurt me? Exactly. Caleb Williams is waiting to the pro day along with Drake May and Jaden Daniels. So yeah, I get it. If I'm already like penciled in top five, I'm not going to overdo it.
Mm. So when we see these players essentially the top three QBs who are supposed to be selected in the draft, they're like, no, I'm not doing it. All right. How do you think that translates to attitude as a player transitioning to the NFL?
One is, I mean, I've been telling my folks this. If you give me a choice and I make a choice, don't try to swing my choice.
Mm,
It's like if I had the option to do A or B and I pick B, it's like, but A, man, I mean, well, with A you can do. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pick B.
yeah,
But A, I'm going to pick B.
yeah,
So it's like I just don't see there's no wrong in what they're doing. It's not like I mean, there were rumors that Caleb Williams was said whatever team that drafts him, he wants partial ownership. I don't even know if that's true, but it's like, at the end of the day, I played college ball for 3.5, 4 years. Like what me doing the broad jump, me having that 10-5 broad jump does what for you, you know? as a quarterback. Me benching 25 reps does what for you as a quarterback?
That's a good point.
Things like that.
Hmm. Do you think that they should modify the combine for QBs?
Mm, No, I think again, it's a showcase for the people that need to put in more work. If you're satisfied with your talent up until this point, if people are deeming you generational, what am I working out for?
Fair point.
Like like Dion. I don't think Dion ran the 40.
Do you?
Best corner alive, and didn't run the 40-yard dash.
That's fair. Do you think it's more of a blessing or a curse to be deemed generational going into the NFL draft or any draft for that matter?
I think as an athlete in your teens or early 20s, you just gotta take whatever comes with it day by day.
Hmm.
As long as you don't, stay humble regardless. As long as you don't be ignorant, I think everything is fine.
Hmm.
But it's hard to measure it. It's hard to measure ignorance because if I'm having so much success up until a certain point, yeah, my stuff stinks, and I know it does.
Hmm.
But it's like at the same time, it's like keep your head down. People want moxie and all these buzzwords. It's tricky. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep. I think I forgot who said it, but somebody said, "Don't listen to all the good stuff they say about you. Don't listen to all the bad stuff they say about you, because the truth of the matter is you're more somewhere in the middle of it all."
Well said, whoever said that. Good quote.
Yeah. And speaking of being in the middle of it all, MVS was released by the Chiefs.
Dang, back-to-back Super Bowls, and I'm in Cancun. Well, it's a cap casualty. It's a cap casualty.
Okay, talk.
Um, excuse me. They're getting younger at wide receiver, and they need better wide receivers. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling is somewhere between okay and good. And for what he's making, it's not worth it, especially when they can just draft one, two, or three wide receivers in this upcoming class. So I understand it. Move that money around, open it up for the rookies. They might bring him back on a cheaper deal, but I doubt it.
So when they cut him, they have to pay him, don't they?
They saved $12 million, and I think they had to pay whatever was due at signing. So maybe like a couple of M's.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay. Do you ultimately think MVS will be playing on a team next year?
yeah. He's already on the open market. I don't know where he'll be, but he won't win a ring there. So
What team do you think would be a good fit? What teams do you think should be eyeing him?
yeah, Brian, this Marquez Valdez-Scantling is like a wide receiver three on a bad team. No, wide receiver three. Yeah, wide receiver three on a bad team, wide receiver four on a good team. So it's like off that alone, his best bet is to go somewhere with the elite quarterback play, so maybe the Chargers or Bills,
Hmm.
or maybe if you want to throw a dart with Will Levis, maybe Tennessee. I feel like Will Levis has a nice profile. And I feel like he'll be a good fit in that offense. But even Cincinnati, but I don't really know, man. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, 8.5 million guaranteed at signing, $6 million signing bonus, and a total of 15 million guaranteed. He was gonna be a free agent next year anyway, so I mean, no harm done for real.
Yeah, that's true. So speaking of the Chiefs, Ocho Cinco says that the Chiefs win a Super Bowl easily with Lamar Jackson. What do you think about that?
I think it's crystal clear. Uh, yeah, I think if you look at my QB ranking list out now,
Mhm.
I have Lamar Jackson at number two, second best quarterback in the league.
Mhm.
So You put the second best quarterback in the league with a Super Bowl roster. I think they still win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
What
very
o-
simple.
what Ocho highlighted, the key thing here being that you're putting Lamar with Andy Reid, and Andy Reid is an offensive specialist, and especially with Lamar's ability, he'd be able to leverage his skills in ways that haven't been seen before.
Yeah, I agree. Well said.
Mhm. Shannon was adamantly, or as some people know him, Unc was adamantly trying to disagree.
You know, Shannon Sharp has an opinion on Lamar Jackson that, I mean, is it valid? Yes. Is it a bit much? Yes. So it's like I don't really know how to really dictate. I think he's calling it down the middle, and the middle is a little slanted, no pun intended. So yeah, I think because when you measure him up against his peers, despite the two regular season MVPs, the postseason success is lacking.
Mm,
And as a three-time Super Bowl champion, I think your eyes are kind of set on the postseason
mhm,
in reference to Unk. So I mean, Josh Allen has been to an AFC Championship. He lost. Burrow has been to the Super Bowl. Mahomes been Mahomes, and this is your first AFC Championship. And you didn't play your best, so naturally, it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm at scrutiny. I also think the media overall just has a little bit of extra wahala for Lamar Jackson. I don't know why, but it is what it is.
mm. Do you think that, like, where do you think Shannon Sharp's vendetta came from?
Probably lost the parlay. But in all seriousness, no, I don't know. I think it's like one of those things where you want the best for somebody, but it's like you do, it's easier said than done.
Mm,
And I guess he played with Elway. Elway was a very successful quarterback, and maybe he's just trying to vicariously deposit some of those intangibles into. I don't know. It's weird, you know. It's weird. I'm not sure if they have a relationship outside of the sports world, but I mean, yeah,
mm,
Unc is just being Unc.
mm. Speaking of old heads, I got some hot takes for you. All right,
Shoot.
let's change the temperature a little bit. All right. Tom Brady should still be in the league. He runs a faster 40 time now at 46 than he did at 22.
Tom Brady know better. He don't need to be playing football anymore, man. Go ahead and be a partial owner to the Raiders and just mentor Aiden O'Connell for me. Thank you.
But hear me out. Tom Brady's still better than the bottom third of quarterbacks, like right now.
In theory, yeah.
Honestly, where would you put Tom Brady on your list right now?
Based off what he did 2 years ago, I guess somewhere in that 9 to 12 range.
So that means he's still a solid starter. 9 to 12? That's good.
This is like freestyle. I had to really analyze. Yeah, Brady is still Brady, and he retired at a point where it looked like he can keep going, but eventually the wheels will. You know, it's like I know it's a little different for running backs, but it's like sometimes that extreme. Okay, I'm elite, and I'm tearing down to like okay, and I just crash out to being trash. That can happen very fast. Like for example, I think Eli Manning. He was never elite, but he was okay for a significant amount of time, and then all of a sudden he would look garbage.
Mhm.
So yeah, he was a four-time Pro Bowler. His last Pro Bowl was in 2015. He had a losing record. Bounced back in 2016 when 11-5, and then at the last 2 years, I mean, he was still looking capable. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's like how much longer, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying there. You don't want to drive the car till the wheels fall off. But do you think, right, when you look at Tom Brady, do you think that him still playing after he won that last um chip in Tampa
Tampa.
Bay was necessary? or do you think that his legacy would have been better maintained and held higher prestige if he went out on top like Broncos QB? Why am I blanking?
Peyton,
Like Peyton
Peyton,
did.
Peyton. I mean, those last 2 years, he led the league in pass attempts, completions, and the year before, the 13 and 4 year, he led the league in yards and touchdowns. So he was and yards per game. So he was still definitely playing at the MVP level.
Mm-hmm.
My fault. He was still definitely playing at the MVP level. He was MVP runner up in 2021. So I mean, you know, I feel like that divorce played a role in him just trying to move his mental somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I gotta process. I gotta process alimony, and I gotta deal with Cameron Jordan second me and Brian Burns, and it's like I'm 44, 45. I got seven of these things. It's like, do I really need to do more?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Did he need to do more?
Like I'm pretty sure he has that deal with Fox, 375 million for 10 years. I don't know when it kicks in, but he's about to be in the booth calling games at some point anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be that I'm looking forward to because he's gonna start speaking a language that other commentators are gonna be like, all right. He said he just called that play and read it
375
perfectly.
$375 million just to speak, man.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, he has that pedigree. He's worth every dollar. Speaking of players who are in that aging class, second one I got for you is LeBron will win another ring before he retires.
Yeah, I think he gets one more. I don't know when, but I think he gets one more.
Honestly, it
Um,
might be this year.
how it could be. I don't see it being this year. I think Denver might repeat, but again, he can very much. It's very much a possibility. I think he retires with five. I don't know when he's gonna retire, but I think he retires with five.
It's fair. And the reason that I say this is because the other night versus the Clippers, LeBron had a crazy fourth quarter comeback. I think they were down by like 19 or something in the fourth. And let me see if I can pull up some of the information. He's hooping like he's 21 and he's almost 40 years old. Yeah, he spearheaded the biggest fourth quarter comeback of his career. They trailed by 21 in the fourth quarter, and LeBron had 19 in the fourth
Very,
quarter to
yeah.
lead a 21-point comeback.
Yeah, he went nuclear. I think he he's past his prime, but that doesn't mean he's still not good. He is who he is, regardless of age. And the only thing if he can stay healthy, that's all he really has to do is stay healthy. He keeps himself in top tier shape. He said himself he doesn't get tired. All he has to do is to stay healthy. And I think let's see, Bronny. I think I feel like Bronny would stay one more year, but if he doesn't, they're gonna play together the next year, and that's it. Swan song.
Yeah. And when LeBron gets that fifth ring, how does that affect the GOAT debate?
He's
Because you got to look at the narrative.
I know.
He got drafted by his hometown, went to Miami, picked up a few, went back home, did what he had to do, went to a third location, one in the middle of a pandemic, and then picks up another one just to let y'all know that he still has it. I'm just saying,
Um,
longevity of the career with those rings, he's the GOAT in my
I
opinion.
think I mean Listen, man, when you come back from 3-1 in the finals and win it against the best team ever, that really did it for me. Everything else is kind of gravy. But at the same time, if someone was like, "Oh, Michael Jordan's the GOAT," I'm gonna debate with you until I don't feel like debating anymore. So it's like, yeah, I got Braun at one, but just like if you have MJ at one, I don't blame you. Funny enough, this is oh no, we talked about Carmelo's son saying his favorite he thinks Paul George is his GOAT, right? You talked about that?
Huh?
Yeah, Kanye and Anthony, Carmelo's son, said that his GOAT is Paul George.
And his father's Carmelo Anthony.
Precisely.
Has a mellow favorite color, yellow, jello, Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
His son should be disowned for saying that. Like, respectfully. Do you not know that in that same era that LeBron was doing all of that? Like, I look at it like this, right? Being a Melo fan in the early days is like what's a good comparison? Like, you know how you have like Coke and Pepsi? Melo was Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He you either really like him or you really don't. But those who really like him are gonna ride with him forever. That's how I look at it.
To give you the quote, my GOAT is Paul George. Paul George is the best player ever. Kobe Bryant, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony. So I guess
But
I
why
guess
is
Paul
Paul George his GOAT? What has Paul George done to deserve to be his GOAT?
grow I think Kanye Anthony's like 17, 18 years old. So I think because let's see, I'm trying to like I'm not shooting bit born in '07. Jesus. Okay, so yeah,
17.
he's about to be 17. Damn. Anyway, I'm not shooting bail,
Felt old
but
right
I'm
there. Felt old.
yeah. Yeah. I'm not shooting bail, but I'm just giving you an idea of like the youth. They like I'm surprised he didn't say well, he's a wing. So yeah, guards like Steph, wings like Paul George. Like after you like if you were born after '04, yeah. If you're a guard, you model your game after Steph. If you're a wing, you model your game after KD or Paul George. Not everyone can be 7 foot tall, so naturally you should go to PG. Like give it 10 years, people are gonna say that one B is their GOAT, which is fair. But yeah, like Bronny might mess around and say that one B is his GOAT in 10 years.
I don't disagree with Wemby being the GOAT in 10 years because uh well, this wasn't one of my hot takes, but I think Wemby will be the face of the league in less than 15 years. Actually,
Oh yeah,
less than 10 years, honestly.
yeah, yeah. He's already there.
Yeah. Um, but the next hot take I do have for you is have you heard of Max Struess or Struss?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Push for Cleveland. He used to play for Miami.
Max Struss is more clutch than Curry. Hear me out.
Well, first of all, you pronounced his last name right the first time. It's Struess.
Struess? Oh,
Yeah, Max
okay.
Struess.
Okay. I was looking for some clarification. I don't know if you can see it in my face.
Oh, I could.
Oh,
I mean, you already said one reckless statement, so I just said, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Be reckless.
Max Struess is more clutch than Curry. Let me explain to you. So in the Mavs game this week, in the fourth quarter, he had 15 points on 5 3-pointers made, 100% field goal percentage in 5 minutes.
Yeah, shoot or shoot. And he shot very well.
He quite literally couldn't miss if he wanted to in that fourth quarter. And on top of that, the reason I say this is because we know Curry. Curry is known for not being able to finish at the end of the game.
I'm gonna refute that, but I'll let you go ahead. Don't worry.
Fourth
Don't worry.
quarter,
Put the apron on.
if I'm a Warriors fan, Give Andre Iguodala the ball. Give Clay the ball. Don't give the ball to Curry because I know all of a sudden all the chef in him is gone. All of a sudden he doesn't know how to play basketball when he feels the pressure. I don't know if it's maybe the noise. I don't know if it's the atmosphere, the ambiance. But Curry takes off his hat in the fourth quarter.
You know, Steph just hit the game winner 2 weeks ago.
I'm talking about in the totality of his career. In his biggest moments, he's not that guy.
Okay, Max Strus went 4 for 13 the day after he hit that game winner. By the way,
Listen, let's look at the take
you
for what it
said
is.
you said in totality. Yeah, so in totality,
I'm talking about
no,
Curry in totality.
no, no,
Struce,
no, no, no. You
Struce,
gotta do a one. You gotta do a 1-to-1. You gotta do a one to
Struce is
one.
young. Struce is young.
He's
He has time,
28. He's
and I think,
27.
and I and listen, I think he has that Ray Allen type of shooting ability that you would kick the ball to him in a game 7 Q4 to hit a clutch shot to go up ahead, like how LeBron kicked the ball to Ray Allen. I think he has
Bosh
that
did
pedigree,
that,
and I
but
wouldn't be
anyway,
surprised if you find him on a team doing that in the near future. Don't be
you're
surprised if
pro-
a team that is on the cusp trades for him. Don't be surprised if you see him on the Nuggets or the Lakers.
you're probably must have done wonders with that buzzer beater because you sound delusional, my friend.
I don't gamble, but I,
Mm,
I just got to bring you a hot
mm,
take. And
you sound nuts.
just remember this day, it's
I
completely
remember he hit a
possible.
game winner. He hit a game winner and went 4 for 13 in 24 hours. It
Listen,
was it was the second longest buzzer beater in NBA history, but still, that doesn't make you more clutch than arguably the best shooter that ever touched this planet.
see, best shooter doesn't mean most clutch. You can be good at shooting the ball for 3.5 quarters. Honestly, 3 and 3/4 quarters. But it's what you really do in those last few minutes that really matters. Because if it's
There's
the
a
clutch,
metric that go ahead,
do you
go
measure
ahead.
a player by just their overall stats, or do you measure a player by how they perform in those key moments? LeBron coming back from that 3-1, that game 7, the block he had on Iguodala that saved the game and allowed him to kick the ball to Kyrie to go ahead. Damian Lillard,
Okay,
ISO, Paul George, step, trigger Trey, game 7 versus OKC. And Damian Lillard looks at the camera like, come on, guys. You knew what time it was. It was Dame time.
so you can measure clutch basketball now. There's a metric,
Oh,
and Steph has a 50% 3-point percentage in the clutch.
he's a
He has
50-50.
10 more made threes than anyone in the clutch, and he's tied for fourth best amongst
What,
50.
what's this stat? Give us some more information.
Okay, so let me see if I can get the fullness of the. Mm. So according to the NBA article posted last month, well, going on 2 months now.
Mhm.
Steph Curry is among the top clutch performers. Uh, they had a clutch player of the year award this past year, won by De'Aaron Fox because he scored more in the clutch, and he had a high field goal percentage in the clutch. But this year through Tuesday, Steph has the most points in the clutch right now with 113, and That's five more than any other team. Oh no, the Warriors have played in five more games in the clutch than any other team. He's made about half of his shots, 50% of his threes, and he's 97% from the free throw line in the clutch, which is the best among 28 eligible candidates. So I believe it's like field goal percentage and a bunch of different things within the last like 90 seconds of the game or something like that. I'll get the exact metric for you in a second. But the man has four chips and could he could have had five if that Raptor series went another way. But yeah, I'm not Max Struess, no. No. Game on the line, I can name you 20 people I'll pick over Max Struess right now.
Is Curry one of them?
Yes.
Now let me ask you this: game on the line.
Mhm.
Are you giving the ball to Curry over anybody else in the league?
We're down by two or three.
Two.
I'll give it to KD and Kyrie if we're down by two.
Even that in itself shows you that Curry isn't the most clutch.
Okay, that's fair.
You agree?
But I think he has more clutchness in his wrist than Max Strus has in his entire career.
I'm working off the potential of what Max Struess can be. I see good ball when I see it.
All right. When this man goes 2 for 9 again, I'm gonna give you a call.
Okay.
That's not hate, by the way. I'm just
It,
kidding.
it sounds like hate. It
It's
sounds
not hate. It's not hate. I'm just giving it on it. When he goes 2 for 9, I'm gonna call you.
hmm. Okay, all right. Change the temperature for us. Hit us with some cold facts.
You know PJ Tucker, and
Yep.
that NBA's best sneakerhead.
Oh yeah.
He
He,
hasn't scored a point since November 14th.
a point of what? Basketball?
Yeah, he hasn't registered a point in any capacity since November 14th.
Has he been playing?
Played 9 games, he hasn't scored
Has he been getting
anything.
minutes or
Well, you played 9 games, so yeah, you get minutes.
hmm. So what's he out there doing?
Cardio.
Tony Snell type?
Yeah. That's what she did there. Yeah, pretty much. He was in Philly for a little bit, and when he got traded with James Harden to LA, and it was just an ill fit. He publicly requested a trade, which is a no go. He got fined 75K, and he's been null and void on that roster ever since. So he's just whittling away, kind of like I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. There's some player that was just trying to get out of Dodge, and they just wouldn't let him go. I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, he wants to get out of there by any means.
Hmm.
Was it Eric Gordon? It might have been Eric Gordon when he was with Houston. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, he hasn't registered a thing since over the last since November 14th. So basically since the start of the season.
So he's really just out there doing cardio.
Yep.
So PJ Tucker is 38 years old. Do you think it's time for him to call it a career?
Yeah, I would advise him to just not even. Yeah, I think you made the amount of sneakers you have. I know you made enough money in your career. Go ahead and be a podcaster or something. He's
Career.
a he's a really good storyteller. He was on the podcast P or one of them player podcast, and he was giving it up. So yeah, he's entertaining. No, it was Club 520. Shout out Jeff T. So yeah, I feel like he could venture out and do other things. You played a long time, you won a championship, and right now I don't think there's more for you to do. He was trying to get traded somewhere and they just couldn't find a suitor. So now it's like, all right, bro. I don't know, man. He's taking time off to reset his mindset. So he's in his like Calvin Ridley bag.
Mm,
Respectfully, that wasn't hate. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
hmm. I think that PJ Tucker, it might be time to pack it up, but when you really look at his career in totality, he got drafted and then he went to Europe for like 6, 7 years and he made a comeback. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, right back back.
He was the
Well,
Israeli MVP
yeah,
and the German MVP
yeah,
and a Ukrainian Super League All Star.
yeah. And he was Big 12 player. He was Big 12 player of the year as a freshman. Oh no, no, no. No, no, no. First team. Okay, yeah. He was Big 12 player of the year in '06 at Texas. I think he played with KD in college.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So I think
I,
the funniest thing also about PJ Tucker is there's an account, a Twitter account tracking whether he'll score or not.
word. DPJ score is crazy.
At did PJ score? If you guys want to stay up to date on whether PJ Tucker scores any points,
That's crazy.
I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's just old. He's 38. Can you imagine jumping up and down for 38 years? His knees have to be cooked. There's no amount of footwear that can disguise aging and deterioration. Not everybody's
D-
LeBron.
DPJ score is insane.
All right, what else you got for us?
Oh, oh, Caitlin Clark. You know her. Many people do. She's 17 points away from breaking the all-time scoring record in college basketball, male or female. The record was held by Pistol Pete Maravich, and she's 17 points away from breaking it.
Is Caitlin Clark the greatest NCAA athlete we've seen, period?
No, if we're including all four college sports, no, absolutely not.
Oh, oh.
And
Well,
even in
basketball,
basketball,
just basketball.
no,
Okay.
no.
Is she the greatest woman basketball player?
I'm not gonna say that. She hasn't even won the national title, I don't think.
Hmm.
I just think she can shoot the weather off the ball, and not many people can do that.
So what would you put her player comparison as?
I don't watch enough WNBA to do that, but
I mean, you see the stats, you see the numbers.
I mean, yeah, well, she's the all-time leading scorer in women's Division One basketball. AP Player of the Year, two-time unanimous All-American. Uh, let's see who she models her game after. She drew inspiration from Maya Moore, so I guess that's where I'll not no 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 not putting that on record. Y'all not ready to kill me in the comments. I don't know.
I was
I
about to
don't
say I
know.
don't even know how my board play. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, y'all not about to kill me in the comments. Mine more got active at UConn and when she was in the league. But still, she's a bucket, so she models her game after buckets.
Okay, yeah, that's valid. So if she when she breaks Pistol Pete's record, we have to call her the best basketball player of all time.
Who's we?
She's statistically she's the GOAT.
You speak French?
Why do you disagree there?
Have you? Well, we weren't alive, but I want you to just look up what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did in college.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can you enlighten us while I Google?
Yeah, so the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he went to UCLA and he did absolute damage before he went first overall. And before college, he went to Power Memorial and he was undefeated there. He was uber talented, three-time NCAA champion, back times, Final Four, most outstanding player of the year, most outstanding player back times, consensus All American back times, and National College Player of the Year back times. So don't why are we talking about Caitlin Clark as the greatest anything? Like I That's not regular territory. That yeah, yeah. It's Kareem, and then whoever else you want to throw in there, we can have a conversation. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not close.
What NBA player do you think Caitlin Clark could beat in a one-on-one?
Tobias Harris. That was a joke. Let me be serious. Probably
Because she can hoop. Somehow
yeah,
she
yeah,
might be able
yeah.
to go into the NBA if she wanted to.
No, but probably I don't know who's like not really that good and doesn't play defense.
James Harden.
Come on, bro.
I'm just asking. You said who's good that doesn't really play defense.
Let me see. Who would I take over Caitlin Clark in the NBA? I guess Killian Hayes, who just got cut, or Jonte Exum, maybe. Like one of them, just
Dante Exum. Okay.
one of them overseas. When I don't want to call y'all bones, but yeah, overseas draft busts that didn't really pan out.
You can
Like
call it
Mario,
what it is. It's okay.
like Mario Hazonia or something. Yeah, I'll take Caitlin Clark over Mario Hazonia. I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
But you don't think she could be the active rostered NBA player?
Like a solid role player in the NBA right now? No, not at all.
Not even in a game of horse?
Not at all. OG, no, Brian, that's not basketball.
My fault, my fault. You know me. I'm trying to pick your brain, you know me.
So unserious.
Okay, okay. All right. What else you got for us?
Um, I know y'all want the tush push to be thrown out, and I know it's pretty successful. It had a 93.5% success rate. Uh, not this past season, but the season before when they made the Super Bowl. And last season, it was 73. It had a hit rate of 73.1% when they ran it off fourth downs, and yeah, they averaged 22.1 first downs per game, which is the fourth most in the league. I say all this to say they're not bending the tush push. There's no support for bending the tush push. Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent said that the general sentiment within the league is that it's a credit to the Eagles that they found a short yardage play that works so well for them. And I just read you how well it is. And I'm glad they're not banning it because y'all need to work harder to stop it. To quote my brother Brian, you know what it is.
Stop it.
Stop it.
It's like, yo, it's like a 50 gut, you know what I'm saying? Drive it down the middle. Football. You know what play I'm calling? I'm calling it and I'm letting you know what it is because I know you can't stop it, you know.
Remember when Ocho Cinco used to tell the DBs his routes before the snap? That's like different levels of disrespect, but
I mean,
same
I respect it. You
same
can't
token,
stop
yeah.
me.
Mhm.
One time LeBron, during the finals, a Heat player forgot the play, and then LeBron told him the play that he was supposed to run. Like stuff like that is just cold to me. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. I remember that in the bubble, yeah. Mhm.
yeah. But speaking of basketball, talk to me about what's going on in the NBA right now.
Do we talk about that Pistons Knicks game?
We did not talk to me.
I don't know, like recently I talked about how the Knicks are looking good, but y'all got into a sweat fest with the Pistons, and y'all low key should have lost that. It came down to the last second. There was a lot of missed calls according to the Pistons, and they ended up getting the W. But it was just looking very, very, very unchy to say the least. Monty Williams was pissed. He said that was the absolute worst call of the season. No call. Enough is enough. He done it the right way. He called that loss an abomination.
Hmm.
Um, just so you know, Monty Williams is the highest paid coach in the NBA right now. He's coaching a rebuilding Pistons team who lost like 25 in a row. So yeah, it's bad. It's bad in Detroit. And they're trying to blame him. I don't like it because that's home team. Shout out to Coach Monty. But it's really, really bad in Detroit. And it says, according to ESPN, the crew chief admits to a missed foul call that should have been called on the Knicks.
First and foremost, I just want to commend the ref for admitting that he missed a call. I've never heard a ref admit they missed a call in my life.
Oh no, they do after the fact. I don't know what the point is of doing it after the fact, but yeah,
But the what this so did the missed call result in did this game come down to the last play or something?
yeah, like and they also said that there were two other missed calls that benefited the Pistons according to the ref reports. But yeah, three missed calls in the last minute of the game. I think the Pistons were up one
Mm-hmm.
and they turned the ball over. Oh yeah, so yeah, 58 seconds left. They were up one. And they're saving the loose call foul on Detroit. It was missed. And then there was a defensive 3 seconds that should have been called on Detroit. It was missed. That would have been a technical foul. And then the Knicks got away with a reaching foul that wasn't called, and it set up Josh Hart. Was he a Piston? No, he's a Pelican. Josh Hart that got the game-winning layup for the Knicks.
Hmm.
And then if things went right, and if things went right, the Knicks would have had a technical foul shot with 25 seconds left and kept ball. So either way, it was like they're probably gonna win the game anyway. And the official acknowledgement of the DiVincenzo non-call should do a little to appease the Pistons, but like I said, Coach Monty called it an abomination, and the Pistons are on a 16 losing streak as of Monday. I'm not sure they won since then.
So all this really sounds like is like NBA coaches need a way to like challenge like something that's going on. Can they do
There is,
they have a
but I
challenge
don't
or something?
think they do. But I don't think it's in the. I don't think. I'm not sure if we can do it in the last 2 minutes.
Really,
Let me.
what's this challenge system they got? Because
Yeah, you know what's
challenge
crazy? Cause
plays.
like I did in two. I did in 2K once, and I didn't even mean to. I was trying to call it timeout. It's a timeout or challenge. I was like, oh, this is a thing. But yeah, as of 2019, the coaches challenge will allow for a head coach to trigger one instant replay review of a limited set of matters. It's been in effect in the G League and it was adopted by the NBA as a trial run. Each team has one challenge in the game, regardless of whether or not it's successful. You can challenge personal foul calls at any time, out of bounds, goaltending, basket interference within the first 46 minutes or the first 3 minutes of overtime, 46 minutes of regulation, that is. In the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime, all it's like football. All that stuff is up to the refs. You
Mm.
cannot challenge non-calls, etc., etc. When you challenge a foul call, you can only challenge whether the foul was a foul or not. Yeah, it's basically football. Yeah, football style challenges.
Do you think you should be able to challenge it on calls?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have much success because these refs are hard-headed, but yeah, I think you should be able to.
I think that's something that they need to bring in AI for. Use that AW
Nah,
analyzer. Be like, yeah, let the AI tell you, is this statistically a foul?
I mean, contact is contact. You're not supposed to touch me. If you touch me, I'm blowing the whistle. It's
That's
very
fair.
simple.
So it's like, what's that delineator? And it's like when there's not really like an actual like hard fast rule, it goes down to eye test.
Yeah,
We know the refs aren't tipping the scale.
I just don't like the whole. Yeah, we should have called that, and like oh, saying it as like for example, Des called it. They didn't say it until like 3 years later. I was like, what am I gonna do with this information? 3 years after Des called it, we all knew he called it, and 3 years later, oh yeah, Des caught that. Like what? What am I gonna do with that?
And there's nothing you can really do with the information, is there?
No, it's just like, yeah, we know. Yeah, he caught it. Like we knew this already.
So what what changes do you think is going to happen with refereeing going forward? Do you think anything is going to change?
Um, with any change, there will be problems. So I don't, in the grand scheme, no, I don't think much will change. I just think they're gonna find new problems.
Mm, hmm. It'll definitely be interesting to see how things shake out because I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the Players Association in the NBA brings this up as an issue
Potentially, yeah.
with the refing, like because they have say over stuff like that too, right?
Say again?
They have say over stuff like that too, right?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure it's like a topic of discussion, man.
Mm.
But it's like in the grand scheme, you know how many times LeBron has complained about missed foul call?
That's
Like you be getting like full on poked in the eye and whatnot. So it's like, and players sell calls. So it's just
true.
there's an anti-flop rule, but there needs to be an anti-ref. You need a lock-in rule.
Like, hey, lock in. That's what they
Yeah.
should have. They should have a lock-in flag. Like, yeah, I believe the ref was not locked in for these amount of minutes, and there should be a review and there should be a score adjustment based off of this.
Yeah.
Um, did you see the Pelicans account and Stephen A going at it a few days ago?
I didn't look at it closely, but I did see. I saw a little bit of it. Can you tell me more?
I thought it was comical. It was essentially the Pelicans account was roasting Stephen A saying, "You're not an athlete. You averaged 0 points when you played basketball in high school. Um, why should we listen to you? You have bad takes."
My basketball career. I like to relate to things. So my basketball career ended very early. I chose books, so it worked out. But anyway, I still know a lot about the game of basketball, and this is just me. I'm just a typical podcaster. Now you have Stephen A. Smith. He's written for I think a slew of different productions in Philadelphia, New York, North Carolina, etc. He's covered the likes of MJ all the way to Wemby. I trust his opinion enough on basketball to at least say, okay, I see where you're going. But it's like to tell him he knows nothing because he averaged X amount of points. That's like saying and I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this because I said this before about Ryan Hollins because he only averaged like 8 points, not even like 6 points a game when he was on ESPN, but he probably has more knowledge of basketball in his in the front of his brain than I have in all my brain.
Mm,
So yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole, oh, what do you know about the? If I'm covering it, I'm covering it for a good reason. Shout out
that's
to
fair.
Ryan Hollins. Hmm.
Do you think that sports commentators don't get enough respect? And it seems like things are overall trending towards we want you to talk about it if you played.
Yes, but you got your own. You know how you got armchair quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I get, I got this new term called box score Avengers. People just look at box scores and make analysis on people's acumen based on what they did in their profession
Mm,
without actually watching or just going a little deeper. I feel like stats without context is lazy. If you don't add context, you're just looking at numbers, and numbers don't tell you everything.
mm,
I so it's like, yeah, being a box score Avenger doesn't really do anything for you if you can apply that data accurately or fairly. Ryan Hollins averaged 3.7 points per game and 2 rebounds, but he played 518 games. So yeah, he was logged over 30,000 minutes on a hardwood floor to play basketball.
mm.
I can't say that about me. Oh wait, no, well, not 30,000, 6,000. I read the wrong things, which is still a lot. 6,000 minutes. So what is that? That's like how many hours is that?
I mean, how long is the game?
48 minutes, 6,000. So 250 days of basketball he's played. 250 days. Oh, wait, hold on, no. Wait, I did that wrong. 6,000 minutes divided by 48.
6,000.
Okay.
What is it? It's like 1,000 something. 1,000, like 1,200,
6,000. Yeah, so he's played
1,100.
518 games. He played over 6,000 minutes.
Okay.
I haven't done any. I haven't played one game or 1 second in the NBA. So I'm going to value what a former NBA player says. I can give you my opinion on it, but to say, "Oh, you know nothing about the game of basketball," is lazy and just unintelligent to say.
Well said. Well said. So speaking of unintelligent moves, talk to me about the new Clippers logo and jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be a ship, a Clipper ship, and
What
it's.
is a
I mean,
clipper? Can you explain to me what a clipper is? Because
so so
I always thought of like hair clippers,
of
which this is.
course, yes, because you look like we come from that, yes. But the Clipper ship is essentially, I think it's a style of, yes, it's a vessel designed for speed. It's like a speedboat, pretty much. Um,
You're telling me there's
yeah.
a team called the Los Angeles Speedboats?
They were fast sailors, and they derived from the clip, which is getting as much propulsion as possible from the available wind. So yeah, it's yeah. Um, they decided to finally dive into the name of the team, and yeah, Clippership. I'm sure Steve Ballmer has a lot of say so in the cosmetics of the franchise. So yeah, he was like, yeah, let's go for it.
Do you like the logo?
It's cool. I don't hate it.
Would you rock it on a hoodie?
Yeah, that's a small, like a small joint, big
No,
joint.
no. As a
No,
big
no,
emblem.
no. But a small joint, yeah, why not?
Oh, like small, indiscriminate, like something people can't see.
No. Like just like a smaller scale, like yeah, it's just like a little, like that Nike symbol right there. If we put a Clipper logo right there, yeah, that's cool. But a bit, like, nah. I'm cool. No need. I'd rather just take the calligraphy. I only need that big ship on my chest. I'm not a sailor.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I like the colors. They kept the colors. I just don't like the look of the ship. I guess maybe it's because I didn't know what a clipper ship was, you know. I guess now that I think about it, I guess I never really thought too deeply about what the clippers were, right?
Yeah, nobody did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a naval ship, aka a quiver, what the team is actually named after. Which with basketball lines etched into the hole inside the sea, which is
Hmm.
like going with the compass lines. It's very creative and very thoughtful, but you know,
I wonder what creative
it is
agency
what it is.
they hired for this. Do you think any AI was used to design this?
No, maybe, but I don't think so.
Safe answer. Okay. So circling back to Caitlin Clark, talk to me about her pockets. What's going on?
She's breaded, or she had. Well, yeah, she will be breaded. Whether that's going to be via WNBA money or NIL money, if she stays another year, that is up for discussion. But according to Market Watch, if she does stay another year, she'll make more money than she would entering the draft.
Mm.
To dive deeper, I'm gonna pull out this article to get that information for you. But as I do that, what are your thoughts just on that sentiment so far?
Get your money. You
That
know,
part.
she is one of the biggest stars, and her ticket price is clearly demanded for Iowa games. Like what, almost $500 for a ticket to the game. So I'm not surprised she's getting these big NIL contracts and things of that nature. And I wouldn't be surprised if she stays another year to keep raking it in. When you're
Yeah,
making good money like that now, why would you essentially the NCAA is a bigger well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the NCAA is a bigger market than the WNBA currently.
currently, yeah, probably.
So you're essentially going from a bigger market to which I don't know how that happens. How is the professional organization a smaller market than the collegiate organization? That's like the NFL being smaller than college football. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, the difference is, I think the WNBA was founded underneath the NBA. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're doing this too. And it's like, you look over and it's like, okay. And the talent has definitely improved over time, but it's like the no dunks and there's only like 8 teams or something like that. It's just very like reduced. So it's like naturally the I watch, but the typical or the casual is probably just watching to practice their wrist and not actually watching the actual game
Oh,
itself.
do you think the WNBA would have more success and gain more viewership if they actually let it branch off and treated it as its own thing, not like a subsidiary of the NBA? Because
Well,
when you look at
I,
it, it's kind of like the XFL of the basketball.
I think people look at it that way, but it's not, if that makes sense. I think it's
Okay.
looked at that way, but it's not supposed to be. I think they added a few new things, like maybe a 4-point line, maybe just something just to spice it up a little bit. I
Mhm.
feel like it would help. But yeah, I think it's on the uptick. They have a Vegas team that helped, and they won the ship. And yeah, the Las Vegas Aces are a super team. We talked about that before. That's a loaded roster. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean that helps make a super team, and then your numbers will go up, and they did.
Mm, that's fair. Speaking of super teams, let's talk about some super players. Paul Pogba, Juventus midfielder, has been banned for 4 years after he was tested positive for doping. Yeah, so essentially he was taking performance enhancing drugs to allow him to perform better on the football field, football being soccer field. And Pogba, he'll serve the full length of the suspension, and it seems like it'll be a likely career ender. What do you think about that?
Damn, for real?
Yeah, it's 4 years. He's 30. How old is he? 30 something. Yeah, he's 30.
Hey, um, in life we make choices.
Thoughts?
Sound my father right now. Um, and you gotta live with the consequences that go with those choices.
Fair.
Um, I don't know too much about the doping vendetta because sometimes players use substances that aren't necessarily designed. The intention was not necessarily for PEDs and stuff, but they may have a compound that is not like DeAndre Hopkins. He took something.
Mhm.
And so I didn't even know that was in here, and he tested positive. So yeah, I'm not gonna try to slander him and make it seem like this is a deliberate approach to just take PEDs, but at the same time, I did take this philosophy class, and this was a topic of discussion. And I don't think they should, but in the event that they put a restriction, but not a ban on PEDs, wouldn't that product get better?
Explain.
Like, for example, baseball, right?
Mhm.
Because I feel like baseball players take PDs all the time. If you're a baseball player and you shooting up a little bit, I'm sure you're gonna be hitting 600 foot home runs. Is it feet or yards? I think it's
Feet.
feet. 600 feet home runs like clockwork, which will drive up viewership and drive up numbers. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just, being a contrarian for the sake of podcasting sake. And yeah, I'm trying to pull up my notes from this philosophy class that went into more detail. But yeah, for example, like Toradol and all that painkiller stuff, That's a performance enhancer. That's authorized.
Mhm.
So it's like you authorize some things and you don't authorize other things around your employer. So I'm just saying, just make clearer boundaries on what you can and can't do.
Mhm. That's
Because
fair.
like if you're gonna punish somebody after the fact, it's like what's wrong with this? That's all.
Yeah, I can see how it could be viewed that way. I think the big thing that this then arises is you mentioned how the sport can just be overall more exciting if PEDs are allowed. Do you think PEDs should just be legal in all sports?
No,
Oh.
I don't. I'm just saying for those for individuals that subscribe to that, I get it
Hmm.
because we're already in a scoring pandemic. People get 70 when they wake up. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess the authenticity of the game is a little soured. But you know what? Tristan Thompson was taking PEDs and he wasn't really getting any PT. So so yeah, like I don't really know. It's weird
He's
to
not getting
do
PT. What performance is he enhancing?
anyway. So yeah, yeah, just to give you some notes from when I took this philosophy class. If some average use drugs, others who are on their own might refrain from becoming users, because they're forced to indulge to remain competitive. Perhaps the difference is that training, well, yeah, PEDs may endanger your health long term, but you can make the same argument about, training or things of that nature. Um, the right way. Yeah, it's philosophy, and I'm a podcaster. But it was a good conversation when I did take this class. But I think personally you shouldn't, but I understand those who advocate for it. Maybe I might drop another article.
Nah, I need to hear some more insight about the PEDs and the history of this. I actually look forward to that article.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, but he's gonna drop it, guys. Don't let him fool you.
We'll see.
What's what's it called? I think we covered everything. This will be our first episode of March. Happy March, guys.
Happy March.
Um,
We're making brackets very soon. Be on the lookout.
oh yes,
I might even open up a Discord so y'all can talk trash. We got things in the tuck. I just need to make them happen.
you
And of
you want to offer a prize? Yeah, we can
Hey,
talk.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
March Madness bracket. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Raise the stakes and the temperature. Why not?
Yeah, but go ahead, finish up what you're saying before we close out.
But yeah, also, if y'all have suggestions on topics that you want me to cover in the Doppler effect, as I write articles, let me know. I want to I want to give the people what they want. So if you want my thoughts and opinions on some things I may not cover here all the time, I'm down to write about it. So give me some time. And for the individuals who reached out to be guests on our show, be on the lookout. We're gonna get you slotted in due time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well said. Well said. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Fever Pitch Podcast. If you aren't already, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the notification bell if you're listening to us on podcast audio only. Leave a 5-star review and let us know what you think of the podcast. And like Dan said, please, if you have suggestions or you just want to reach out to be a guest, reach out to us, DM us, hit us on email. We'll get back to you and we'll get you slated in. We want to hear what you guys think, and we want to really expand this syndicate with your hot takes and cold facts because I know there's some hot ones you guys got out there. But
Well
as
said.
always, thank you guys for listening to the Fever Pitch Podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.